let's get on with it. Welcome to the video. What's this gonna be? Well, this is the 10 months of Toyota Supra video. I realized that I could have probably waited 2 more months and make it 12 months, but there's a better way to do this. BMW seats. I know, it's totally ironic. I'm now really short. This is my Supra. I picked this up September last year, so it's been a little while now, but there's a few stories and a few opinions and the like that I have about this car that I think, obviously, I now have a quite educated thing about. Oh, and before we get started, this video is sponsored by BOTB. I'm pretty sure you've heard of BOTB. They are the dream car competition company and they're giving away £34 million worth of prizes, cars. For this 1 week only, they've taken away all of the vehicles that are usually on display on the website and they've summed it down to Supercar Week. They've added 12 very special prizes that someone is guaranteed to win. You get to choose from 6 amazing supercars that one day I will have a supercar one day. Along with those, there's also 6 firm favorites to win, each with £100,000 in the boot. Tickets start from £2.20 and all the vehicles included in this week start from the price of £165,000 and they rocket their way up to £225,000. That's a lot of money either way. If none of those cars take your fancy, you can get the cash alternative to those prizes. So you can get a bunch of these. I almost fell over. And if you got an extra 30p laying about, well, tack that onto your ticket and you can win an extra £20,000 on top of it. I want some money. This runs this week only. Make sure you're speedy. That's this Sunday, 2nd of August. Link down below in the description for the BOTB website. Supercar Week is on. Right, with that done and dusted, I think it's probably time now to jump on to the Supra. Things that I love and hate, things that I've learned as I've driven this car, which is basically gonna give you the good and the bad. But I'm gonna mix them together, so for every good, I came up with a bad. And I think that's a good way to explain this is that, So first things first, it looks fantastic. It smells like a BMW. There's like a certain specific smell, and I think it becomes more pronounced when it's a lot older, which it'll smell more like eventually. And it sounds pretty good too. A downpipe makes it sound more like a BMW. This doesn't have a downpipe. It sounds good, but a lot of the sound you're hearing is actually fake noise. There's a lot of fake noise generation in here. It comes with Apple CarPlay, which is honestly amazing because I hate having to use anything other than Google Maps and my music apps. It's so much better. Why doesn't every car have this? And of course, because it's a BMW, at least they didn't used to do it, it doesn't have Android Auto, which is my preferred. So I actually bought an iPhone just for the sake of using this car because I refuse to use any software maps in built-in car maps. They are just awful. They're the worst thing ever. I don't know why they even bother. Just put Google Maps on it. Put Google Maps on. Just stop. Stop trying. It's not worth it. Let the software company do it because clearly you're not very good at it. It's a fantastic sized car. I'm 6'3". I fit in it well. It's shorter than most hatchbacks, which just beautiful, which means for UK roads it fits everywhere perfectly fine, unlike the Lexus, which was huge. It was huge. This fits everywhere. I don't have to worry. In my Lexus, I would have to worry, like, I have to literally search on Google Maps to make sure there was flat parking before I went anywhere. This, it's not an issue. The fake vents, I mean, there's not much justifying it except for the fact that Toyota did it. I do feel a bit like Yobbo, because if you haven't seen a load of Fiestas and Focuses decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna put vents on it, and you're like, yeah mate, that's totally real. It doesn't even actually go in anywhere. My vents, somewhat, most of them, do have some channeling. Most of them don't, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame, because I can't then go, oh, it's mine are real and yours aren't. It reaffirms my love for tiny little turbos, which I can't show you because it's so small, they just shoved it in there somewhere. So it's tiny little, I just love the quick spooliness, the fast acceleration. I think it's perfect for the UK. I think it's perfect for anywhere in the world. If these cars are getting so quick off the line and so quick low end, that's where it's most important, let's be real, because you're going to get to 70, or if you're in America, 55 in some places. You want to get to that quickly, especially when cars are going to start to put those limiters in. This is supposed to be the positive. So I'm going to say it doesn't feel fast, which is not true, because it does feel fast. It feels very quick. The passenger, I see them, it's kind of a good judgment. If they go quite aggressively, you know it's pretty quick. But the problem is, at the high end, it doesn't feel fast. Even accelerating towards the higher end, 0 to 30 to 40, you feel, wow, this thing's pretty quick. Past that, people usually say that that is because a car is big. It doesn't feel like you're going that quick. It's not big. It's a small car. It's a pretty small car. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it's probably just because you get the initial and then the turbo dies off because it is a tiny turbo. So you do get some positives and you do get some negatives of the tiny little turbo, but tiny little turbo is good for driving on normal roads. It's also super practical, which I shall now demonstrate by getting in, because apparently someone will use this to, maybe someone will use it to carry a body somewhere. Can I actually fit? Make sure I've got the key still. Let's go, baby! Come on, give me some more burbles. Give me some pops! She's so inconsistent. So, the assists, the BMW assists, I'm not really a fan. So I drove Toyota assists in the Lexus, but I will say they're much better. They are preventative assists, whereas in a BMW, they are reactionary, if that makes sense. At least that's what I found. Of course, that's personal preference. Some people would prefer the reactionary, some people prefer the preventative. I prefer the preventative, especially when I'm potentially going to spin out and die. I would much rather my car fix my situation before it happens, if that makes sense. This format was going really well until I decided to put the flap. I'm talking about the paddles. They're very responsive. In a few cars I've had, it has a little bit of a delay. I mean, I say a few cars, I've not really had that many paddly cars. It's very quick at recognizing what you want to do, doing it. It feels very much like you ask it and it goes, oh, I'll think about, of course, more than anything, but it's much more responsive than anything else I've ever driven before, except maybe a GTI. It's more responsive than a GTI. GTI ain't responsive. It doesn't have a thing, it just does a, I'm not talking about an e-brake either. I think that it's because I feel like I'm driving a BMW when I didn't buy a BMW is one of the main reasons. I hate to fuel the fire of people that say, oh, it's a BMW. It is, but it isn't. Toyota have definitely given it more character. But what I will say is that they've also removed some because of the fact they've gone with the BMW bits. It feels refined in a different way. It feels German redefined opposed to Japanese redefined. Japanese and German's very, very different, and it's created this crossbreed. It's just the best way I can explain it. In this world where we're now going to a point where cars like this won't exist anymore. This is why I'm probably going to consider holding onto this car for a while. This is going to be the last of its kind. In 2 years' time, they're going to make it so that European cars built in Europe, just so you know, this is built in Europe, they're going to, cars sold and made in Europe, all have to have these speed limiters that are based on GPS and sign reading, which is ridiculous because this car sometimes tells me to go 100 miles an hour on a road. It's like, excuse me, there's no such thing as a 100-mile-an-hour road in the UK. It's just not possible. I mean, there's something about the feel of, I wish I drove a GT 86 more than I have, because even that has a certain feel, a rawness feel to it. The interior is awful, it's crap, it's basic, but that gives it character. The Lexus, I'm always going to go back to that because I really want another one. Like, I would, if I was given a choice between this and an RCF, I would go for the RCF any day. I miss the RCFs. It was an event to get into the car. This isn't an event. This is never an event. There's nothing you can really do to make it an event other than giving it 1,000,000 horsepower, but then you take away the whole point of it being a little tiny baby turbo, which is its most positive thing. Which is quite nice, actually. It feels sensible when it shouldn't be sensible. It's a sports car. It's got a hatchback's engine in it. Quite frankly, it has got a BMW 1 Series engine in it that is designed for a hatchback. That feels a little bit weird. But at the same time, because of that, it does feel very small, and that's good. It fits everywhere I want it to, as I've mentioned before. If I was going to buy a hatchback, especially if someone was saying, oh, I'm going to buy an A45, I would say you're an idiot, for one. Don't spend 50 grand on a hatchback. Buy this. It's the same size, like length, height, much lower down, which is better in every way, and you don't look like a baboon for buying a stupid car. Or that, sorry, your parents bought you a stupid car. I hope you can hear this. It sounds, the pops are good. That's all, oh, it's gonna stop now, isn't it? There we go. It's what it's got going for it, the pops. It's just, it's the pops. When I say it's too BMW, I mean it's too refined. It's not Toyota enough. The Lexus feels very Toyota, very boaty, and sometimes the RCF. The LC500, very refined, Toyota refined. There's such a... Once I get to a point where I can own one of those, I will be able to tell you the difference, because I'm probably going to keep this for at least a while longer. I can't justify, like, I need a small car. I will forever need a small car. And a hatchback, it's just not as cool. It's really not as cool. This is a better hatchback. And every time I think, okay, so eventually I'll get rid of it, I'll get this, and I'll get something, sports car, supercar, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, wait, I won't be able to fit in a multi-story car park, so I won't be wanting to daily it everywhere because it will keep it less exciting. This is perfect to fill that gap. So it makes me think, should I keep it? It's a constant fight. It's a constant fight. All right, I think we're done here. Let me know if you want to see a proper drive video where we just drive this thing, because then I can kind of show you how it is to drive this car. Of course, I can remap it and get a downpipe, but I don't want a downpipe because it's going to sound like poo-poo. There's so many conflicts. Thank you, my friends. Give me the be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, by the way, main channel, pretty cool that. Peace. Yeah, we don't need those things in the UK, and like the releases. It's not a thing. It's not a thing in the UK. Whew. Oh, and there's no, you have to use the key to open, or the button inside the, stupid.